Thank you. Hi, everybody. Jimmy Justice, Justice Jimmy, the Joker, the Beetroot King, the one, the only. Got a
No
fist on
introduction
him.
needed. It's Mohim for Boxing Domination, and today I'm joined by the main man, the Beetroot King himself, Jimmy Justice, aka Jimmy Miller, ahead of his fight with Danny Christie at BKFC. Jimmy, thank you for joining me. How you feeling?
Feeling fantastic, vibrating on a high level. I'm ready to put a beating on Danny Christie.
Of course, this is a massive fight against Danny Christie, and I know you're coming in to stop Danny Christie as well, as usual, as you did in your first fight with Carl Cassidy when you stopped him in the second round. Can I ask you,
Yeah,
how is your training prep going for this fight?
very well. I've been training for a fight which I knew was coming. I manifested this mindset. Yeah, that's the most important thing. I have enough. I have everything I need. Do you know what I mean? Know that you have enough and that you are enough and you're good enough. And I've basically been programming my mind recently more than ever, telling myself, blocking out of any negative thoughts. I try to visualize me versus Danny Christie, and I visualize if there's some negative things come into my mind, I often see Christie with his hand raised in his previous fight, and I go, no, 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 that's me, that's me, that's me. I'm the one with my hand raised. And it's all about you have to put in the work. You can't just manifest the victory. You have to earn that victory with sweat, in the gym. Um, but I believe, that if I when I turn up with my unshakable belief in myself, for any uncertainty, for a smack in the mouth, for a cut in the eye, I might be bleeding profusely, yeah, but you just have to keep on believing, because you know I believe that the outcome will be me getting my hand raised in Newcastle, the big shock, the big upset. Danny Christie's ego let the devil in. He's trying to take my shine. He's given me a great opportunity. He's seen me shining, man, and he's
Yeah, and
given me the
like
opportunity.
obviously this fight is of course another fight for you, but it's such an important fight. But I do want to get down on what got you into the sport of bare knuckle boxing.
I watched it on my phone. I seen the circle ring. I've always knew that my strength when I was an MMA fighter was my stand-up boxing. And not just stand-up, because I've done K1 fighting. I mean, I was a boxer, really. But I like dirty boxing. I knew my years in MMA have given me a great mindset for bare knuckle boxing. The most important part, that toughness, that the experience. It's all needed. And I thought to myself, wow, I would have been good at that sport, like if I had the opportunity. But obviously, it was in America, and it didn't seem like it was in my reach. But when I seen Tony Giles, a former opponent of mine, post BKFC, I was like, wow, that's that BKFC. How did he get on that? And I thought, if Tony Giles can get on the BKFC, why can't I? So that's when I started thinking about how am I going to get myself in the BKFC.
Right,
So
right.
obviously, I asked Tony. I said, Tony, what's going on? How can I? When the promoters had their first media day for the Mike Platinum Perry MVP fight, I turned up there at the hotel because I got the location. I introduced myself, and that is where I met Danny Christie for the first time. I was looking to get myself a fight for the BKFC, and I seen Danny Christie. I eyed him up. I thought, he's my weight, he's my size. Let's go and speak to him. I said, "Have you got an opponent?" And he said, "Yeah." And that was it. I found out later that he was fighting Terry Brazier, and I believed in my head then that I was ready to take the opportunity if it come about for me to fight on that card. It didn't, but I continued to chase the BKFC, even though I wasn't getting any traction. Andrew Bakewell was ignoring me at the time. Uh, it wasn't until a friend of mine, Ellis Shepherd,
Oh yeah.
he's the lightweight champion. He was on the phone to Andrew Bakewell. I snatched the phone out of his hand, and I was like, "Andy, why are you ignoring me? Why won't you give me an opportunity?" You know what I mean? I said I'll sell tickets, and then do you know what? I think he tried to get me done over. He matched me against Kyle Cassidy, who was unbeaten. He'd done both his opponents in the first round, and Andrew Bakewell was probably licking his lips, thinking he's going to get me done over, but he didn't. And I still wanted more. I still had more ambition for the BKFC. Even after what a tough fight, I could have just said, "Oh, I did it, tick it off the bucket list." You know, it was tough, But you know what? That desire, that like I don't know, something that was still very much in me that I wanted to do it again. I wanted to do better. I wanted, you know, I wanted an opportunity for the BKFC. This is it, mate. This is my Willy Wonka golden ticket. Danny Christie is the star of the BKFC UK. So I did it. I done it. I manifested this. You know what I mean? This is my shot. This is what I wanted.
That is that is very true. Even though you've been out the ring for so long, I have been watching some of your other fights as well, like some of your other bare knuckle fights that you've had sort of like on the streets, and I've seen him just earlier, right before the interview. I was watching one of the fights where you actually stopped the guy. Can I ask you about your early background as well, where you grew up and things like that?
Yeah, so I've grown up being a fighter. My dad was very much installed it in me to hold my hands up, to any my brothers have had any problems. I was got to be the eldest, and it was me that was going to sort it out. So yeah, I grew up being a fighter. I grew up going to boxing gyms as a kid. I had my first amateur boxing match at age 12. I won the Southern Counties Schoolboy Championship. I was a great amateur boxer. In fact, I had one of the best records for the club. I think I was 15 fights, 12 wins, which is pretty good. I um I was a southpaw, which I am now actually. Yeah, I had some boxing skills which I seem to have forgot over the years. Because I come back and they turned me to be an orthodox fighter. I had many fights as an orthodox. I also had my MMA career as an orthodox, right-handed. So I'm ambidextrous. I can box both ways. But what become apparent in my BKFC journey is that I'm to be a southpaw. And I believe, even though Danny Christie is training for a southpaw, it might be his kryptonite because I do believe that there's no such thing as coincidence, and that I think he's picked me, he's handpicked me because I'm a southpaw. I don't know. He lost against a southpaw. He's been training for southpaws, but whatever it is, like that southpaw style, I think is a well, it's my style. It's the what it's the way I was, the way I'm supposed to be. It's what you know my but how I become a southpaw again was I injured my hand in the build up to the BKFC debut, and I knew I would never get another opportunity. So most people would have pulled out, having one hand. But I thought to myself, well, this is it. Like, how much do you want it? You know what I mean? Are you prepared to fight with one hand? And I thought, yeah, I'm prepared to fight with one hand, and that's the story. So I went southpaw, and now being a southpaw is probably the reason why Danny Christie wants to fight me. I don't know, but I'm a southpaw, and Yeah, but I do switch it up sometimes. So
I think this is going to be a very interesting fight between yourself and Danny Christie, as there is a lot of questions on you going into this fight. And of course, Danny Christie is the favorite, and he is also the promotion's favorite as well. And you're willing to come in and upset him. Now, I want to get
yeah,
down
can't
on
wait.
your nickname, the Beetroot King. How did that name come about?
Well, my name Justice Jimmy. I've been Jimmy Justice all my life, yeah, So I've been Justice Jimmy on social media, but I did notice that people on social media have what's called as a handle, you know, like the Liver King, yeah. I like the Liver King. I was like, oh, Liver King, that's kind of catchy. Livers are good for you, high in iron. But what about beetroots, the vegan alternative? I'm not a vegan, but beetroots, they're from the earth. They're great. And I was thinking, do you know what? I can be the beetroot king because I was actually I was experimenting with beetroots at the time. I was 2022, getting into fitness again. In my mind, I was preparing for a big KFC fight. And yeah, beetroots were definitely giving me a good positive vibe. So I changed my handle to the Beetroot King, and I started promoting eating my raw beetroots, which I don't do so much anymore. But I do eat a beetroot like an apple, and quite a few people actually. It sort of it took off a little bit back then. I had people that are following me, sending me pictures of beetroots, tagging in beetroots. I even inspired a few people to try a raw beetroot, which I'm happy about. So I'm keeping the handle Beetroot King because yeah, it might intrigue people in the future to think, oh, who is the Beetroot King? And yeah, so let's just say I would like to promote eating healthy, eating whole foods, and I'll keep the Beetroot King as my handle on Instagram. So yeah, it doesn't have to be your name. I'm sure if
Yeah.
you find you up Jimmy Justice, you're gonna come across the Beetroot King, and likewise.
I
But
think
yeah,
some of the questions I'm going to keep it for when I meet you in person, of course, in Newcastle. But I
oh,
must
brilliant! You're
ask you,
attending.
yes, I should be attending. I got a meeting with Andrew Bakewell tonight at 8 p.m. So
Cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna of course speak about media credentials because it's been a while since I've
you
gone
should speak
to.
to Andrew Bakewell and say I spoke to your star, the biggest Jimmy Joker Miller.
I will do
Wait
for
until
sure.
Conor McGregor gets a load of me. He was talking about some of the most interesting characters in fighting are the ones that fight with no gloves, and that's us. Yeah, we are interesting. We've had interesting lives, and we're certainly shine brighter than the rest of the fighters in the world. And that's why this sport is going to take off because of the characters, because of the bells and whistles, because of and Conor McGregor. He said, "This is the product. This is it. This is what we're witnessing now. This is the beginning of the big time for the BKFC. Me and Danny Christie are going to be the Forrest Griffin and Stefan Bonner of the fucking BKFC UK.
Yeah. Um. Obviously, whenever I see your videos on social media, you actually remind me of the current WBO lightweight champion, Dennis Berencik. I don't know if you know him, but he's actually, um, he's part of the team Usyk, and he's
No
basically
way.
always had the craziest entrance, the craziest. When I mean the craziest, his ring entrances have always been like so unbelievable that no one has seen it before. Are we gonna see something similar with you as well? Because I think we should
Definitely.
see.
Well, you remember Milton Keynes when I had the Joker and the Riddler? Well, I'm bringing the Joker back out with me. Yeah, but he's gonna be the new Joker. He's gonna be this Joker. Look, we got the Joker movie
Okay.
coming out. That was from one of my sponsors, Inked from Within Tattoo Shop. Yeah, shout out to my sponsors, Lipsy's, MA Hart, Number One Home, Southern Drainage, all the people that give me products like the Saint Athanase, Patsy's Irish Sea Moss. Um, there's more sponsors. Fans follow me. They've given me a package. I've been very blessed, actually. It seems like the universe wants to give me great support for this fight. So if I'm sat at home, I'm living the dream. This is professional fighters getting their camp supported for them.
Yeah, and talking of camp as well, what's this training camp been like compared to your very first fight at BKFC?
Mate, I am grateful. My first fight in the BKFC, to be honest with you, I did take that camp seriously. Also, I was out of work because of the time of year. It was I'm self-employed. I've been working as a commercial plumber pipe fitter. Kind of an interesting story. I've grafted my ass off for that 7 years that I've been retired from fighting or whatever. I did everything I could for my family, and I found myself I wasn't being my true self, like I was living the life for someone else, for my ex partner, she was the voice inside my head. I used to feel like all that negativity, like you can't do this, you waste your time, you're this, you're that, like she didn't want me to reach my higher self. She if anything, she's pretty negative to me. Like, what's the point training? Like uh she almost that MMA journey man that I was, that didn't bring me for me to fight Danny Christie and to put my best out is what's important to me. I'm never not proud of a loss. Not saying I'm gonna lose. I'm just saying if you've done your best and you did, yeah, you kept on walking forward and you was hurt and you didn't give up. But mate, in MMA, I took fights for money and that was my objective. Didn't train, didn't didn't deserve the win, knew I didn't deserve the win, knew I wasn't getting into the UFC. There was no opportunities for me in MMA. I was what I was. I was a journeyman, yeah. I was the guy they called to fight premium contenders, short notice, yeah. I had a good entrance, I looked good, and the promoters loved to use me. I clocked up many bouts, I had many defeats. But remember, I could have been a success in MMA if someone like John Kavanagh got hold of me, yeah, brought me up, brought my level up, got me my opponents, you know, put me in the right direction. Instead, I had the opposite. Yeah, I was put in my very first fight against a guy who was a seasoned pro, who, was two weight divisions above me. First loss. Second loss against another guy who was at it for years, who was levels above me. I was 3 losses in a row in my beginning of my MMA career. Yeah, how does that affect you mentally or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Like, and to work my way up and to carry on fighting and learning on the job. Yeah, to becoming not a bad fighter. You know what I mean? But not through having a good team behind me. Yeah, just through learning on the job. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's that mindset of mind programming, telling yourself, oh, well done, you earned the money, don't worry about it, you know, to actually have an ambition, to actually having a clean slate, to actually being an undefeated fighter who's working his way towards a career. At my age, at 40 years of age, I remind you, I may not look 40, but I am 40 and I've had to do a brain scan for this BKFC. Well, I've got one booked. It's yeah, and that'll be valid for how long I don't know, but I'm having a run for the title, man. It's the Cinderella Man story.
I don't think people actually
Cinderella.
understand. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I don't think people actually understand that just because a fighter goes on the road, for example, like in boxing or MMA, and they've become like a journeyman, that doesn't mean they're a bad fighter. Like the
No,
journeymen are actually the backbone of a sport because without
thank
journeymen,
you.
there's no champions. So I must give you respect for that because I know
Yeah,
a lot of people they see 10, 15 losses and they're thinking, oh, this guy's no good because he's had 2 wins with like 10 losses. But the truth is, without the journeyman stepping inside, the prospects will learn. And I think it's a very brave thing to do, even stepping in at last minute notice, because most fighters they'll want a full camp or they'll want so much money, but they'll want an easy opponent. And I've seen this over the years. And
Mm.
it's the fact that you've wanted Danny Christie from the beginning. It just shows the mentality you've got in BKFC and what you want to achieve and what you want to set as well, as anything is of course possible. Going
Yeah,
back on the whole thing as well, Danny Christie fight, your biggest fight of your career. There'll be so many
yeah, for
people
sure.
watching, and of course, we know Conor McGregor being one of the owners now. He
Yeah.
will, of course, be having his eyes on this fight as well. What standards do you plan of setting in June when this fight happens?
Standards. What do you mean standards? I mean,
So,
like the showmanship, number one. Yeah, the character, the entrance, you know, the the physique, the preparation, the level, yeah, of boxing. The heart, the determination. These are all things that I possess. Yeah, all things that I've shown I've shown this throughout my career. The charisma, but I've shown my heart. I've shown my courage. I've shown all I need to do is just put my best out. And that's enough to beat Danny Christie. Believe, um, I believe that that's enough. If I put my best out, and that'll be enough. I
right,
know,
and
I know he's a phenomenal boxer and stuff like that, and I know he's tough and stuff like that. But is he tougher than Jimmy Justice? That is the question. Is he tougher than Jimmy Justice? We're gonna
and
find
and that is
out.
true. We are gonna
Yeah.
find out who is gonna be the best man on June the 8th in Newcastle. Now, before I cut it to cut a bit short, I do want to ask you, because you're a fantastic brand ambassador and you are probably, and I'm not just saying it, I said it off camera, I say it on camera, and I always say this to people. There's a guy I know called the Beetroot King. He is the best great ambassador I've seen. His promos are unbelievable. Can you tell me a
Big
bit
up.
about your sponsors and and sort of what brings you this energy when being an ambassador for a company?
Okay, well, the Salates and also Danny Christie made a video bigging up the product himself. Yeah, so I think me and Danny very similar. We're sensitive to what we put in our bodies, and we feel a great sense of well-being from the Salates products. Now, maybe that was my first time trying ashwagandha as one of the 16 uh, superfood blend. This mix of stuff that you want to be taking, for helping you train. It talks about cognition. It's got lion's mane mushroom. It's got the ashwagandha for stress relief and sleep, and all these other ingredients. I could get the packet to show you, but to be honest with you, I feel a great sense of well-being from the product. And I was buying the product, and I approached them about sponsorship, and they sent me some packets. I started making them videos, and they asked if I'd be interested in doing some like content creating. In which case, I agreed, and so I guess I went a little bit above and beyond. Now I've been doing this for other companies as well, but I won't just put something out there that I don't agree with. I'm not just going to make a commercial and tell you guys that you should be taking this because they paid me or whatever. It's got to be something I want to do, something I'm passionate about. This stuff right here, I love it. I've been on a podcast actually for this company called Sally Ain't with Sarge, the owner. It was a really good podcast. He got a podcast studio, and we just talked about me, like about my journey and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a great brand. Get behind it, and also another brand I want to recommend. Also, like a family to me, yeah, is the Patsy's Irish Sea Moss. They send me packages very regularly of their sea moss, and I've actually shared my package with my with somebody. I so I need some more sea moss, so I'm gonna get onto Limitless and ask for a new delivery to juice me up for the Danny Christie fight. All this stuff helps increase your production of male hormones, I believe, like testosterone, the recovery, the minerals, just good stuff, like it's all very important, because if you're training hard and you need minerals, like you get it from nutrition, but stuff like sea moss, that's got your minerals, and Afanase has got products which I believe help with cognition, sleep, recovery, and all this stuff. Yeah, so well-being. So I honestly believe that between beetroots, Afanase, and sea moss, that is the winning combination for me. Yeah, that and meat, liver. Liver's good.
And thank you so much. That was the very first interview with the Beetroot King, the most exciting character in BKFC, I must say, personality-wise
Look
and of
at the
course
shape of me,
fighting-wise.
man.
Incredible shape, honestly. In incredible shape. You got the lovely tattoos.
40 years of age, and I feel fucking great. I tell you what, I'm at the height of my male prime. That's how I feel. Yeah, I've never felt so fit, so strong. I feel like Superman.
And just a quick thing, can you give me your prediction for June the 8th? And what round?
Justice gets his hand raised, and yeah, that's it. I'll be the star of the BKFC. Andrew Bakewell will be wanting me to sign a 5-fight contract, I guess, and I'll be like, I'll be laughing all the way to the bank. Conor McGregor will be wanting to invite me into his Forge Inn to get me pissed, but not for me, mate. I'm not drinking alcohol ever again. Even if Conor wants to give me a pint, it's not for me. I've never had a problem with alcohol, but I mean, why would anybody want to put that in their body when it disconnects them from God,
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, so this is it for me, walking in love, light, positivity. You're not your fault. You are not your fault. You can rewire your brain. You can become a new person. Just please, everybody who's watching this video, believe in yourself, because God believes in you, and I believe in myself, and I'm really confident in this fight, because I believe, and that's enough, because I believe and because I put the work in, and because I fucking deserve it. That's why I deserve it. Cinderella man, I burnt the boats. Yeah. Not a lot of people know that I sacrificed on paper. I had a wife, I had, a home, I had, everything, that you think that you want, but I didn't have myself. Yeah. I wasn't being true to myself, and I am being true to myself now. I'm doing what makes me happy, and that's what God wants for your life. Yeah. Find that thing that makes you happy, wherever it is, and do it. You know what I mean?
That is right. That is right. And
that's where the magic happens. Look at me. I manifested this. Yeah, everything I have now, this opportunity. I talk about it. But let's face it. Once I beat Danny Christie, I'll be the biggest star in the BKFC UK. Yeah, Mike Perry's next. He doesn't talk to me anymore. Me and him used to be mates. He seen what I did in the forest. We had a conversation. I said to him I hadn't fought in the BKFC for over a year. He said sometimes you have to eat shit. He said you have to want more for yourself. And I thanked him. I said, thanks for this, Mike. I do want more for myself. And I said it out loud. I said, I want more. I want more. I cried out, I cried out, and God heard me. Remember, when I spoke to God, He listened. Now God's speaking to me, and I'm listening. Okay, and when you believe, that's when the magic happens. All right.
And that is right. June 8th, it's going to be fireworks as Danny Christie collides with the Joker, the Beetroot
Yeah.
King, Jimmy Justice
Yeah,
himself. Thank
the
you.
universe, Daddy, and pom, 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 pom. He knows.
Thank you for
Look at
joining
these
me.
heads.
Thank you for
Goodbye,
joining
mate.
me. And we are going to wrap this interview now. Thank you. And we wish you all
Great
the best.
interview. Beetroot.
Let's go, Beetroots. Let's go.
I have got some. You know what? Yeah, look. I don't normally buy them cooked. I got some of these little beetroots in the cupboards.
Okay.
Got some liver. Yeah. Beetroots, liver. That's a meal. Woo! All right. See you guys.